Vanakkam. I'm Vayoni Dimel. This is Boston Lankan News, bringing you news, views and entertainment from Boston and USA. President Mahinda Rajapaksa reverses a pardon granted to child rapist in Sri Lanka. Writer and activist Victor Karunairajan shares his experience in helping the displaced people in North. Sri Lanka, one of the top 6 destinations for world travelers in 2012, according to World Travel magazine. US Embassy in Colombo organizes a special program on World AIDS Day for the Sri Lankan public. Tea Party in Los Angeles raises money for the children affected by tsunami in Sri Lanka. The President Mahinda Rajapaksa has reversed a pardon granted to a man convicted of raping his own daughters, aged 2 and 4 years, according to the Ravia newspaper. According to Mr. Suhada Gamlath, Secretary to the Justice Ministry, President Rajapaksa had made the decision earlier to pardon this rapist at the recommendation of former Attorney General Mohan Peiris. The convict had been given 2 prison terms, each with 18 years, Rs 250,000 fine and Rs 25,000 compensation. This prisoner number H19948 had begun serving the jail term at a J ward in Velikada prison from 2003. On the day prior to the delivering of the verdict, he had fled to the US. In US, he had married a woman and was charged with domestic violence. He was then deported from the United States and was in Velikada prison since then. According to the news sources, he is said to be rich, with lands owned by him spread throughout the country. Many wonder the reasons for the former Attorney General Mohan Peiris to recommend pardon for this rapist when there are many who deserve to be pardoned in Sri Lanka. Victor Karunairajan was a freelance journalist in Sri Lanka who wrote exclusively for the Sun and Weekend newspapers during 1970s. He was among the earliest writers to sound the alarm of tiger camps in the northern jungles and thereby placed his life at great risk. In 1983, even before the racial riots, he fled the country with his daughters to the Seychelles with tiger gunmen virtually at his door. Still unable to return to Sri Lanka, he moved with his older daughter to Canada in 1993. In Canada, he worked as a volunteer among abused women and children and also had his own communication project for children. Currently, he is engaged in supporting the work of the Jaffna Diocese of the Church of South India in rehabilitation of displaced people in Sri Lanka. Victor, you have written extensively against the LTT when LTT was a strong force in Sri Lanka. Now you are living in Canada. Even while you are in Canada, you have taken stands against LTT diehards in many of your writings. Now, could you tell why you have taken such stands, obviously not that popular with some sections of the diaspora?
Why I am taking such a stand is for many reasons. One, I want a united Sri Lanka. 2, secondly, I am opposed to all forms of violence. 3, what the LTT is offering is not the solution for Sri Lanka at all. It is impossible to have a separate state, and in the South Asian context, it will create a lot of problem with Tamil Nadu on the other side and so on. And the other thing is, somehow or other, the Tamils, the Sinhalese, the Muslims, the Malays will have to evolve a system where they can live together in Sri Lanka as one nation. So we have to look for that solution. That will make Ceylon a better country, a successful country, a country which will be economically sound and so on. But if this was a divided state, it's not going to work because even the Tamils are divided. We have the Indian Tamils, the Venni Tamils, the Betikalo Tamils, the Jaffna Tamils. They don't cohabit well together. Even now, the Jaffna Tamils are not interested in the Venni people. Venni people have been totally devastated. But the Jaffna people don't care about that, So and the Jaffna people are, I'm a Jaffna Tamil. Jaffna people we have a consumerist mentality. The Venni people have a productive mentality. The Jaffna people think that they are higher in status or class or whatever it is. They don't think Venni people are on the same level. Also, the Indian Tamil population in the hill country. So we have these social, cultural differences and so on. So when you split Sri Lanka into Tamil country and Sinhalese country, then we are going to have problem of Betikalo country and Venni country and Jaffna country and all the rest of it. When you start dividing, there's no end to it. But when you come together as one nation, there again no end to it, but on the progressive side, on the right side. So this is why I feel very strongly about the LTT, and also more because it is a terror-oriented political party trying to create a mafia state in South Asia. And the Tigers are not politicians; they are underworld gangs, So, and Prabhakaran has a smuggling origin, and he wanted Ulam, what he calls Ulam, to be the Sicily of South Asia. So, for these reasons, I am totally opposed to the LTT and its activities.
Now you are visiting Sri Lanka regularly and also involved with some projects to help the displaced people in North and East. Could you share with us more about these projects that you are involved?
I actually work as a volunteer for the Jaffna Diocese of the Church of South India. It is headed by a wonderful man with a lot of vision, determination and integrity. That is Right Reverend Dr. Daniel Tyagaraja. He is the Bishop of the Jaffna Diocese of the Church of South India. He has a very progressive view. He is dedicated to the redevelopment of his area, and particularly Venni. He wants to see Venni rise again, and that is why he created this. As soon as the war was over, he found there was a need for holistic, total holistic healing effort, because so many people had gone through hell, and they needed to be comforted and supported, and they also needed physical help, like limbs and medical help and support and so on. So I decided to go back to Sri Lanka and giving that support in whatever way I could. Generally, as a communicator of the problems Venni faces, and thereby making people become very conscious that they need to support, especially the people of Venni. And we can make them rise again, and we have to do it. We have no other option.
National Geographic Traveller magazine has named Sri Lanka among its top 6 destinations for world travellers in 2012, lauding the island nation's heritage sites, wildlife, lush landscapes and pristine beaches. Sri Lanka, traveller writes in its November-December issue, means resplendent. Traveller magazine also mentions Sri Lanka's many heritage sites and its colonial history. And it notes the successful conclusion of the most recent conflict against the Liberation Tigers of Tamil Eelam, which ended with the terrorist group's defeat in 2009, opening the door to increased tourism. Today, peace prevails, Traveller reported. Sri Lanka tourism has grown impressively with a 52% increase in 2010 compared to 2009. An even larger increase is expected for all of 2011. The U.S. Embassy is collaborating with LEADS, a community development organization reaching the most vulnerable in Sri Lanka, to organize a series of educational symposiums to mark the World AIDS Day in order to give an opportunity to Sri Lankan public to learn facts about HIV and put this knowledge into action. The first of the symposiums was held on December 1st. A group of Sri Lankan Americans in Los Angeles came together a few weeks ago to have their annual tea party to raise money to support children affected by the tsunami. Currently, the group has 2 ongoing projects in Sinigama and Devinuwara in Sri Lanka, where they fund 54 children with the proceeds from this event. This program grants Sri Lankan rupees 1,500, approximately $15 per student monthly. Out of this money, Sri Lanka rupees 1,000 goes to a savings account from which they can withdraw money for their day-to-day expenses and educational needs. The other Sri Lankan rupees 500 goes to a Ran Kakulu savings account, a special savings program initiated by Bank of Ceylon, Sri Lanka, that has many benefits to the children. The children cannot withdraw Ran Kakulu savings money till they are 18 years old. The group welcomes anybody interested of supporting these children. By donating $15 a month, you can become a sponsor for one child. For more information, please contact Kanti Edrisinghe, 310-756-6253 or Shantini Roval, 661-252-3540. That concludes our news edition. We meet you again with another news edition of News, Views and Entertainment from Boston and USA. Till then, goodbye.